The stars above Mars Base Delta burned silently, as if they already knew something was coming. Commander Juno stood on the steel balcony, eyes fixed on the blackness of space. The chill in the air had nothing to do with the temperature. It came from what everyone on base had just heard. The broadcast had played again across every screen, every human colony, every base, ship, and outpost in the solar system. A tall, gray-skinned alien stood in front of a massive stone throne. His eyes were thin slits of gold. His voice echoed in perfect English mocking. Calm, cold. Humans, weak, primitive, unfit to rule, unfit to fight. You build metal boxes and call them ships. You crawl across your moons and pretend it makes. You strong? The alien leaned forward, lips curled in disgust. The Council will soon decide your future. But let it be known, the Avante Empire already sees you for what you are. Minor pest, you are not warriors. You are barely even alive. A wave of gasps and curses had filled the base the first time it played. Soldiers threw things. Civilians cried. Pilots clenched their fists. Juno said nothing. She only watched. Then, as the final words echoed, this message will repeat, until you understand your place. The FGLITCHED, just for a second. Enough to make everyone freeze. The alien's image was replaced by a dark screen. A voice came through. But this one was not mocking. It was deep, human-sounding, older, strong. Do not respond. They want you to strike first. They want to provoke the war on their terms. Then it cut out. Silence returned. The Avante broadcast began again. But now, something had changed. Later that night, the base mess hall was quiet. People whispered. In corners, some thought it was a prank. Others thought it was a warning. A few thought it was a trap. Lieutenant Rika Vance, the youngest pilot on Mars Delta, stared at her compad. The mysterious message had been logged and erased within seconds. She managed to save a small piece of it. Not the voice, but the waveform. She zoomed in. It's not a human signal, she muttered. Her friend tech specialist Leon looked over her shoulder. Then who sent it? I don't know, Rika said. But it wasn't Avante either. In Earth orbit, the United Earth. Council held an emergency meeting. Dozens of officials, generals, and AI advisors filled the hologram chamber. A red line blinked on every screen. High priority Avante. Threat action required. The council president, tall woman with silver streaks in her hair, leaned forward. We will not be insulted, she said. They called us weak. Do we let that go unanswered? One general stood. With respect, ma'am. If we strike first, we look like the aggressors. The council will rule against us. We'll be alone, another officer spoke up. Our stealth fleet, the Phantom Wing, is ready. Let us send a message, silent and sharp. We remove a Avante outpost. It's nothing traceable. No fingerprints. But one voice interrupted. It came from Odin, Earth's secret AI military advisor. Recommendation: do not engage. The Avante are baiting Earth. The broadcast was designed to trigger human retaliation. Confidence level, 93%. The room fell quiet. Then what do you suggest? The president asked. Wait, watch, and prepare. The true war has not started. Yet, but not everyone agreed. 2 days later, the Phantom Wing disappeared, without permission. Without a trace, 5 advanced human ships jumped into deep space. Headed straight for the Avante border, Juno received the encrypted alert at midnight. Command override, she whispered. They disobeyed Odin. She knew who led the fleet admiral. Duran, old school, fierce. A believer in human strength above AI strategy. He'd warned her last week. Let them insult Earth, and next they'll conquer it. Now, he was gone. Hours passed. No signals. No returns. Then a single drone arrived. It had been launched just seconds before the Phantom Wing vanished. Its data stream was damaged but recoverable. Juno played the last few seconds of footage. The 5 ships were approaching a star system. Then space twisted, not an explosion, not a weapon. The stars bent, the ships stretched, and then nothing. Gone. Juno froze. Not a trap, she said. A field. A distortion. Behind her, Rika appeared with a data chip. I found something, she said, about the voice that warned us. Juno raised an eyebrow. It's not alien. Not fully, it's human. Mixed with something else. It's as if it's from the future. Meanwhile, back on Earth, panic grew. The media replayed the Avante broadcast over and over. People marched in the streets. Some demanded war. Others begged for peace. And across the stars, Avante's ships began to move. They didn't attack. Not openly. They started jamming satellites, disrupting cargo lanes, sending whisper messages to other alien races. Earth is unstable. Join us, and you will share in its fall. Rika sat alone in the hangar, staring at her ship, a sleek fighter called the Viper's Claw. Fast, sharp, quiet. She thought about her brother one. Of the pilots who vanished with the Phantom Wing, they said we were weak, she whispered. But maybe they don't understand what that means. She stood, eyes hard. They haven't seen what we become when we lose everything. Far beyond Mars, deep in the cold space between systems, something stirred, in a place no ship dared to go. An old satellite turned on. Its power core, long dead, flickered to life. A hidden AI booted up. A code unlocked. ODIN-2 activated. A voice echoed into the void. Phase 1. Complete. The Phantom Wing was gone. No wreckage. No signals. No distress calls. 5 of Earth's most advanced warships, lost in deep space without a trace. In Mars-based Delta's command center. Silence wrapped around everyone like a cold blanket. Commander. Juno stared at the black screen. Play it again, she said. The technician nodded. The last recording from the probe drone began once more. In the video, the 5 ships Valor, Phantom's Edge, Ravager Unity, and Ghost Viper moved in perfect formation. They had just crossed the Helix Divide, a dangerous zone near Avante territory. Then the stars twisted. Not like a warp jump or gravitational pull, this was worse. Space itself rippled. The ships stretched unnaturally. Light bent around them. Then static. Darkness. Rika stood behind Juno. She had seen the footage 4 times already. It never got easier. That wasn't a weapon, she whispered. That was a trap, a dimensional snare, or something worse. Juno nodded. Never seen anything like it. Not even in classified archives. The technician leaned forward. We got one fragment from the probe's sensor logs. It picked up a strange frequency just before the distortion. He pressed a button. A low, pulsing tone played through the speakers. It wasn't just sound, it felt like pressure in the chest. Like something alive was breathing. From far away, Rika's eyes widened. I heard this before. Juno turned sharply when I decoded part of that warning message. The voice that hijacked the Avante feed. Its tone was in the background, buried deep. Meanwhile, across the system, Earth's leadership was spiraling. 3 days had passed since the Phantom Wing vanished. The Avante still denied involvement. Their ambassador, a long-faced creature, wrapped in shimmering blue armor, spoke calmly to Earth's diplomats via hololink. You sent your ships into restricted space. If they were lost, that is not our concern. We did not fire upon them. Perhaps they simply broke apart. Poor craftsmanship. Earth's president muted the channel. Arrogant bastards, she said. They want us to attack. They're mocking us into a war. A senior strategist raised his hand. We need eyes on the Helix Divide. Real ones. Send a stealth recon team. Too risky, said another. If we lose more ships, I'll go, said a voice. Everyone turned. It was General Sato, one of Earth's oldest soldiers and the former mentor of Commander Juno. He had led deep space missions before most of the others were even born. You want answers? He said, then someone has to walk into the fire. Back on Mars base, Rika prepped her ship. She knew General Sato would lead the recon team. But she also knew something else. He was going to need backup, even if he didn't ask for it. Juno approached her on the launch deck. "You disobey orders? And I'll have to ground you," Juno said. Rika didn't look up. "Yeah, I won't disobey. I'll just fly close. Watch from the shadows." Juno studied her. "You want revenge for your brother?" Rika's voice was cold. "I want truth. I'll take revenge."
Oh.
Juno hesitated, then handed her a small black case. Inside was a quantum pulse disruptor legal tech, rare and dangerous. "Just in case," Juno said. "Whatever's out there, it doesn't play fair, Recon." Mission began at dawn. 3 ships. General Sato's flagship Nomad, flanked by 2 stealth corvettes. Rika followed from a distance in the Viper's Claw, hidden in the Comet Belt. They reached the edge of the Helix Divide within hours. The place felt wrong. Stars flickered strangely. Time moved strangely. Sato's sensors glitched even with backup relays. Then a blip. "Contacts," the navigator said. 5 objects, no wait. They're distorted. On the main screen, 5 ghostly shapes floated ahead. The missing ships. Only they weren't moving. They weren't whole. They floated like corpses. Some hulls twisted into knots, others missing entire decks. But there was no sign of damage. It looked like the ships had been dent, crushed, melted without heat. General Sato clenched his fists, scanned for life. "No life signs," said his comms officer. "Wait correction. There's one signal, faint, inside the Unity." Rika heard everything from her cockpit. She locked coordinates and burned toward the Unity's remains. As she got closer, her ship lights flicked, then the same pulsing tone played inside her headset. She shook it off. "I'm not afraid of you," she muttered. She docked her fighter to the wreck and entered the broken hull. The inside was worse. Than expected. Walls twisted like paper, control panels melted, oxygen leaking from torn vents. Then she found him, a single human, barely breathing, half-burned suit, cryotubes attached to his chest. His eyes opened as she approached. "Don't touch it," he whispered. "Touch what?" He pointed to a dark object floating beside him, a cube, small, glowing from within. "It's not from here," he said. "It's watching." She grabbed him and pulled him to her fighter. The cube followed, hovering silently behind her, as if it chose to go with her. Back on the Nomad, General Sato met her on the landing deck. He looked at the cube, frowning. "What is that?" Rika set it down carefully. "I think," she said slowly, "this is what destroyed the fleet, or lured them here." The cube suddenly pulsed. A voice emerged. "Phase 2 begins now." Cube vanished in a blink into thin air. Everyone stared. Then the warning lights blared across the ship. Multiple contacts inbound. Evante ships. But something was wrong. The energy signatures were strange, flickering, mutating. The AI on board stammered, "Unidentified. Configuration. Threat level unknown." Rika looked out the viewport and gasped. The enemy ships were merging, forming something new, something grotesque, like they were being rewritten. "Those aren't Evante," she whispered. Sato nodded grimly. "No, there's something else." The sky above Titan Outpost 7 turned dark at noon. The clouds didn't move. They stood frozen, like a paused screen. Then, without warning, the entire outpost lost power. Lights died, doors sealed, communications FLATLA in need. No explosions. Ships in orbit. No warning. Inside Control Room B, Dr. Marin Voss blinked in confusion as her screens faded. She tapped the console. Nothing. The emergency lights didn't even flicker. "Is it a solar flare?" one technician asked. "No," Marin said slowly. "This is surgical. Someone cut us off. Clean." She glanced at her wrist scanner. Dead, not jammed. Wiped. That's when she heard it. A soft, rhythmic click-click-click echoing through the air ducts. Across the solar system, Earth's colonies were failing without a single shot fired. The Venus. Atmospheric harvester stalled mid-process. The lunar AI network went silent. Entire communication satellites began broadcasting strange symbols. People started hearing whispers from devices that had no speakers. The Avante called it the soft war, and humanity didn't even know how to fight it. On Mars Base Delta, Commander Juno slammed her fist into the table. "Where is it coming from?" she barked. "We have redundant backups, off-grid networks, analog systems." Leon, the tech officer, low KED pale. "It's not the systems," he said. "It's us." "What?" He held up a recorder. "This is from an engineer 5 hours before the power outage on Ganymede." "Listen." He pressed play. The woman's voice came through, panicked. I don't know how, but it's in my head. I saw a dream, a cube, a shape I can't explain. Now, every time I blink, I see numbers, in the air, in people's faces. I think it's rewriting me." The recording cut off in static. Juno's blood went cold. Rika, sitting nearby, leaned forward. "That's the same cube I found on the wreck. It followed me. It chose me." On board the Nomad, now hidden near Saturn's rings, General Sato ran the data again. "We're under attack," he said. "But not with bombs. With signals, symbols, patterns. They're infecting our systems, and maybe our minds." He looked at Rika. "Why didn't it affect you?" She hesitated. "I heard it, felt it, but it didn't stick. Maybe because I wasn't afraid?" Sato raised an eyebrow. "Fear makes it stronger?" Rika nodded slowly. "Or maybe it feeds on fear, on confusion." Back on Titan Outpost 7, Dr. Marin Voss lit a flare. The hallway was pitch black. Something moved ahead in the dark slow, scraping footsteps. She turned a corner. A worker stood there. He wasn't moving. His eyes were glowing faint blue. "Merrick," she whispered. He turned, smiled, but his voice was not his own. "We thank you for receiving the signal. Your adaptation will be valuable." Then he ripped open a maintenance panel and disappeared into the wall. Moran ran. She didn't stop until she reached the escape bay, one of the few places with analog override. She launched a beacon drone. If anyone was still listening, had to know. A day later, the drone reached Mars. Juno watched the footage in silence. They had proof now. Cube's influence wasn't just tech-based. It changed people, rewrote their minds, made them tools. Odin, the military AI, ran a full analysis. After several minutes, it spoke. Conclusion: hostile mimetic signal, multi-layered, infects digital systems, then organic minds. Stage progression: observation, influence, control. "Can we stop it?" Juno asked. "Not with current methods." Leon turned pale. "So we've already lost." "Not yet," Odin replied. "The signal is intelligent. But it is still probing, learning. It is not yet fully struck." At the edge of known space, inside the Helix Divide, the cube reappeared, this time on a Avante dreadnought. It floated silently into the ship's control center. The Avante captain barked orders. "Destroy it." Energy bolts hit the cube. Nothing happened. The cube spun once, slowly. Then it expanded, unfolding like a blooming flower. Symbols spread across the walls. Ship's power grid screamed. One by one, Avante crew began screaming. Two, then laughing, then nothing. The cube folded again and vanished. Only silence remained. On Earth, panic gripped the city's screens, blinked random numbers. Phones rang without sound. People started seeing things that weren't their numbers in the clouds. Shadows walking backward, eyes in reflections. Some went mad, some vanished, and some changed. One woman walked into a police station in Rio. She spoke in a calm voice, though. Her eyes flickered with binary light. "You are fighting the wrong war," she said. "This is not about land or stars. It's about minds. We only need one species to understand us. And let us in." She smiled. "You're the first that might survive." Rika stood alone on a ridge near Mars base. Above her, stars glittered like cold teeth. She held the black box. Juno gave Hearth a quantum pulse disruptor. "It's not enough," she said quietly. "We need more than weapons." They turned on. "Her come, Odin." "I want to talk to the voice that warned us during the broadcast." Searching, incomplete match, but possible trace found. "Connect me." There was silence, then static, then the same deep voice that had once hijacked the Avante feed. "You are not ready." "I don't care," Rika said. "You warned us. Help us now. Tell me what this thing is." "A signal. Older than stars. Trapped beyond your reality. Now waking." Rika frowned. "Why Earth? Why us?" "Because you imagine things. You invent. You change. That makes you dangerous. That makes you a doorway." The line cut off. That night, Juno gathered the leadership of Mars base. "We're losing control," she said. "But not because of the Avante. Not exactly. This thing, the cube, the signal, it's using the Avante as pawns." But she pointed. "To the stars, we need to make a choice. Either fight with weapons or fight with ideas, signals, psychology, memes." Leon looked confused. "You want to fight? Using thoughts?" "Yes," Juno said. "Because that's what it's attacking." Turn to ODIN. Start designing countersignals. Use music, images, memories, anything human? Understood. Far away, deep in the helix divide, the cube floated. But now there were more. A swarm of cubes, each one whispering in 1,000 languages, each one searching, watching, waiting. The enemy thought they had already won. Their invisible war was spreading fast signals, infecting machines, whispers turning soldiers into puppets, fear seeping into the minds of leaders. But they made one mistake. They underestimated humans. 300 hours Earth Standard Time, the Valkyrie's Wrath launched from the hidden lunar hangars. It was Earth's most advanced warship. A 3-kilometer-long monster wrapped in black titanium and layered with adaptive shields. She had one mission: strike back, loud, violent. Public Commander Arlen Tove, known across Earth as the Fire Hammer, stood on the bridge. "No more hiding," he growled. "No more silence. Time to teach the galaxy what weak really looks like." The target, the Avante Dreadnought blockade near Europa. For weeks, Earth had avoided open combat. But now, with colonies falling to invisible weapons, Earth needed a wind, something loud, destructive, and unforgettable as the Valkyrie's Wrath. Exited stealth mode, alarms blared across the Avante ships. "Target lock," the weapons officer said. "Fire all rail batteries," Tove ordered. "Every damn one." 10 tungsten slugs, each the size of a shuttle, tore through space at near-light dash speed in 5 seconds. 3 alien dreadnoughts exploded. In 10 seconds, 2 more were crippled. In 20 seconds, the Valkyrie had erased half. The enemy blockade, Avante ships scrambled to retreat. But Earth had something else up its sleeve. A secret program, hidden for years, was finally activated. Odin's predictive strike system. A quantum AI designed to calculate enemy patterns before they even made them. Inside the ship's AI core, Odin mapped out every movement the Avante fleet could make. Then it fired plasma arc lances at empty space. 5 seconds later, Avante ships warped directly into the arcs and were sliced apart. Tove grinned. "They thought we'd play fair." Elsewhere, Commander Juno had her own plan. She stood in Mars Base Delta's control room, overseeing a launch sequence. "Is the signal ready?" she asked. Leon gave a nervous nod. "Ready as it'll ever be. We used fragments of human culture songs. Voices, colors encoded into a waveform. And it's safe." Leon hesitated. "Honestly, we don't know. But if it works, it could push back the infection. Maybe even purge it." "Then launch it," Juno said. The signal was called Project Echo. It was strange, chaotic, full of emotion and memory. A mix of Mozart, tribal drums, old radio broadcasts, a child's laugh, a mother's heartbeat, and the voice of a dying soldier whispering, "Don't give up." It was humanity boiled down to raw sound and sent out like a punch to the stars. Across infected zones tighten. Europa. Ganymede, the effect was instant. Screens stopped flickering. People stopped hearing whispers, some, who had been nearly lost. Glowing. Minds breaking, suddenly snapped back to reality. The signal fought the infection like fire against oil. Juno smiled. For the first time, she said, we hit it back. But it wasn't over. From deep space, a new message arrived. Not from the Avante, but from the signal itself. It came through Earth's main channels. It's broadcasting on every screen, every speaker, every implant. A voice made from 1,000 voices said, you burn bright, brighter than expected. You are chaos made flesh. We thought you would break. Did. You sing. Then, silence. For one terrifying moment, no one knew what it meant. Then, Rika spoke. It means we surprised it. What? General Sato, listening from the Nomad, nodded. Good, he said. Let it be curious. That gives us time to strike harder, he gave the order. Operation Black Dawn was launched across the system. Hidden human weapon platforms uncloaked. Some were disguised as asteroids. Others were built into the rings of Saturn, each one armed with gravity railguns, solar pulse cannons, and AI-guided swarms. The targets were clear: Avante relay stations, the backbone of their communication and control. In the next hour, over 30 Avante outposts were destroyed. The Avante tried to fight back, but without the signals coordination, they were sloppy, messy, just like humans, and now that mess was working in Earth's favor. Meanwhile, back on Mars, Rika met with Juno. I want to go out there, she said. Not just fly. I want to drop into their systems. Trace the infection to the source. Juno raised an eyebrow. No. You're talking about neural interface warfare? I've already touched the signal, Rika said. Didn't break me. Let me dive into it. Let me see what it sees. Juno hesitated. It could rewrite you. Rika smiled. Then I'll rewrite it first. Inside Earth's deep black lab, they prepped Rika for Project Mindwalker. She lay inside a stasis pod, electrodes, wrapped her skull. Memories were mapped. Thoughts were encoded. Her consciousness was digitally duplicated. It's ready to dive into the signal's frequency. Leon stood nearby, pale. If this works, she'll be inside the signal, directly connected. One mistake, and she's gone forever. Juno nodded. If she succeeds, we may finally understand what we're fighting. As the system booted, Rika closed her eyes. The world faded. Then she was falling. Through static, through light. Through symbols and numbers and screaming voices. Then dashed silence. And a voice, not angry, not mocking, just interested. Human. Why do you come? Rika replied calmly, her voice echoing inside the mind of a god. To tell you something. You said we were weak. Yes. Well, she whispered, you were right. Then why come? Because weak doesn't mean broken. It means we adapt. We fall, then rise. We lose, then invent. And when someone tries to erase us, she smiled inside the storm. We burn back harder. Outside the pod, her body stirred. Inside the digital realm, the signal pulsed. For the first time, it felt something strange. Not confusion, not fear, but respect. The skies above Europa were calm, but beneath the frozen surface, under nearly 20 kilometers of solid ice, a prison had been built and hidden from human eyes for decades. No Earth satellites ever detected it. No colony drone ever returned from the area. Only the signal knew it was there, because the signal had helped build it, and now humanity had finally found it. The discovery came by accident, during a deep scan of Europa's crust. ODN detected a strange resonance frequency-like, a hum that wasn't supposed to exist. Juno ran a trace. It wasn't geological. It was man-made. No alien-made, but designed for humans. That's when Odin spoke. There is a facility beneath Europa. Shielded, powered, active, origin, unknown, purpose, detention. Rika, still recovering from her neural dive, stood beside Juno, who's down there. She asked. Odin replied, 42 human life signatures, all faint, all genetically modified. Rika's heart stopped. Modified? General Sato volunteered to lead the strike team. His old warship, the Hammerfall, was refitted for deep ice drills and subterranean assault. Alongside it flew 2 gunships and Rika's personal fighter, the Viper's Claw, stealth only. Sato warned, "We go in quiet, get the prisoners, and get out. If the signal catches us, we're already dead." The mission began at Europa's dark side. The team drilled through ice for 4 hours. Then, 22.3 kilometers down, they hit metal. Not just any metal, something harder than titanium, yet warm to the touch. Alien alloy. They found a tunnel too. Smooth, too perfect. "Looks grown, not built," said the engineer. Lights flickered to life as they entered. Rika's helmet cam showed strange carvings on the walls. Symbols she had seen before, the same ones the cube had shown her. The team moved deeper. Silence followed them. Then they found the cells, transparent walls. Inside each one, a human lay floating in eyes closed, wires plugged into their skulls. Their bodies looked human, but altered. Bones strengthened, neural implants fused to the spine. Skin partially replaced with carbon mesh. Rik whispered. "What were they doing to them?" Leon's voice came through that comes from Mars base. "These aren't just prisoners. These are prototypes." Sato frowned. "Prototypes for what?" Toden answered coldly. "Hybrid soldiers. Human minds combined with alien code, designed to interface directly with the signal. But all were rejected." Rika shuddered. They tried to make translators, slaves, who could understand the signal and spread it. Sato nodded grimly, but they failed. Then a noise. A slow, mechanical hum filled the prison. Lights changed from white to deep red. Rika turned sharply. "We've been detected." From the far end of the hallway, a door opened and a single person stepped out. A man, human but wrong. His eyes glowed with layered pupils. His voice echoed like 2 voices speaking at once.
"I remember Earth," he said. "I remember being
forgotten." Sato raised his weapon. "Identify yourself." The man tilted his head. "We were the first. The test batch. The ones Earth sacrificed to understand the Avante threat. Before anyone else even knew they existed." Juno's voice came through the coms. "That's not possible. No such project was authorized." The man smiled. "No, not by Earth. By them. They found us first. Long before the war. Long before the signal woke." Rika stepped forward. "What do you want?" "Out." He pointed at the cells. "Let them go. They still dream of Earth. But not me. I stopped dreaming long ago." Sato nodded too. His squad, "Release the pods. Take who we can. And get ready to leave." Oh. But the man stepped in their path. "You can take them," he said. "But leave me. I am no longer yours." Sato hesitated. "You're coming with us." Hey, the man's smile disappeared. "You don't understand. I've seen the signal's core. I've walked in its mind. It doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to become you, but it can't. You're chaotic, imperfect, free." He turned his glowing eyes to Rika. "That's why it's afraid of you." Without warning, alarms screamed. The walls began to fold. The facility was alivened. Now, it was collapsing. Odine's voice cracked through the channel. "Extraction required. Collapse in 4 minutes." Squad ran, pulling pods on mag slides, weapons raised. The man did not follow. Rika paused. "Come with us, please." He shook his head. "You'll see soon." The war was never between species. It was between control and chaos. And with that, he stepped back into the dark. The team barely made it out as they burst through the ice and rose into space. The prison imploded beneath them, swallowed by a black pulse. Then silence. Europa was still again, back on Mars. The survivors were placed in stasis. Scans showed their brains were altered, but not infected. Their memories were shattered. Some fragments returned. One spoke a name before falling into sleep. A name no one recognized. Black Sun. Juno turned to Odin. Search all records. Everything. What is Black Sun? No match in public databases? But one link found in classified AI memory core. She frowned. What kind of link? It was a failsafe protocol, designed to be used if Earth ever lost control of the war. Rika's eyes narrowed. Where is it? Odin replied slowly. It's not on Earth. In deep space, far beyond, the helix divide. Something moved. A massive structure dormant for centuries began to glow. It was shaped like a sphere, surrounded by rings of broken ships and frozen moons. A name lit up on its surface, in perfect English. Project Black Sun. Humanity's last option, and it was waking. The halls of the Galactic Council Citadel glowed with blue light. On the surface, everything looked calm, diplomatic, peaceful, stable. But beneath that calm, betrayal was already unfolding. Earth's ambassador, Avery Kwan, stood alone in the center chamber. Around her, the leaders of 37 alien civilizations sat in tall, floating chairs. They stared down at her with narrowed eyes. Explain your recent actions, hissed the Athari Prime. Your fleet struck Avante outposts. You've broken the peace accord. Avery's voice was steady. We responded to unprovoked psychological warfare. Our colonies were attacked, our systems infiltrated. The Tyulan delegate spoke next, slow and cold. There is no proof it was the Avante. All evidence points to signal, a non-aligned force, one you may have angered. Avery stepped forward. And help us. Share data. Help us identify it. Data. Council chamber buzzed with murmurs, but no one offered help. Then the worst came. The Galactic Council chair, a massive being known as Velcal of the Four Suns, finally spoke. Earth has become unstable, dangerous. We hereby suspend your seat at this council, effective immediately, a Mars-based Delta. The message hit like a bomb. Juno crushed her datapad in her fist. We built half their communication grid, she growled. We held the line when the Red Moons invaded. Now they toss us out. Leon was speechless. They just dropped us. Rika's voice was quiet, because they were afraid. The signal's changing us. But they don't want to catch the fire across the system. Earth's allies began withdrawing. Cargo routes were canceled. Joint bases were shut down. Human traders were blocked from galactic markets, one by one. The galaxy turned its back, but Earth wasn't done. General Sato returned from Europa with a new mission. One that no one outside the core command circle could know. He stood in the Mars war room, surrounded by holomaps of deep space. This council never intended to help us, he said. They want Earth to fall quietly, so the infection doesn't spread. Juno nodded. So we show them the cost of silence. Rika stepped forward. What about Black Sun? Sato looked at her. Then, at ODIN. Activated. Far beyond Pluto, in a dead zone of deep space, Project Black Sun came to life. Once a myth. A legend whispered among Earth's secret military minds. It was built in the age of fear before first contact, when humanity believed an alien threat might someday come. A weapon too powerful for peace. A machine that could rewrite reality by bending gravity, light, and time itself. The price. No survivors around it. The order. Only use if all hope is lost. And now, it was humanity's only chance. Back in the Galactic Council, Avery Kwan was preparing to leave. Her diplomatic badge was already deactivated. Her ship had been moved to the outer dock, no escorts. Then, a small alien diplomat approached her. Old, shaking eyes full of fear, he handed her a data crystal. They're lying, he whispered. The signal isn't just unknown, it's ancient. Pre-council. Buried beneath the founding codes. You've known about it for centuries. Avery grabbed his hand. Why didn't they act? He trembled. 'Cause they once tried to destroy it and failed. Millions died, so they locked it away, hid it, and swore never to speak of it again. She leaned closer. And now it's waking. He nodded once, then slipped away. Avery sent the crystal back to Mars base. Juno played the contents in the war room. The data was fragmented, old but clear, a signal. A wave, a pattern used by the founders of the Galactic Council, weaponized once, barely stopped, then sealed beneath layers of law and silence. Leon paled. So they've been sitting on this. And letting us tape the hit. Sato slammed the table. They betrayed us, not out of fear of the signal, but out of fear of what we'll do when we survive it. Odin confirmed the worst. The signal is now spreading beyond Earth space, mutating, latching onto other species. But Earth remains the strongest carrier. It's the only one resisting. Juno stared at the blinking red markers on the map. The galaxy had made its decision. It wasn't just the signal. Earth was fighting now. It was everyone. So Earth responded, the only way it could not, with more diplomacy, not with begging, but with black. Sun. Rika stood in the control chamber of the giant sphere. The structure pulsed with ancient energy. Ready to go hot, she said. Sato's voice came over comms. Coordinates. Atata Deep Command Station, Sector 19J. Juno added quietly, send a message. To the Council. To the signal. Every species watching. Rika's fingers hovered over the control surface. Message confirmed. She whispered. Then she pressed Ignite from the edge of the system. A silent wave burst forth. A pulse of raw physics. Not light. Not sound. A ripple that bent reality. Folding space and gravity into a brief singularity, the Avante command station blinked out of existence. No debris, no explosion. Just gone. 10 seconds later, the signal inside that sector collapsed, screamed, then went silent, and every listening species across the stars felt it. Avery Kwan's final message to the Council played alongside the event. You called us weak. You abandoned us. This was your warning.
Time.
We rewrite more than one system. They knew it would come, after the destruction of the Avante command station. After Black Sun ripped a hole in space itself, Earth had made its message clear, but so had the signal. And now, it answered. At 2:13, Earth Standard Time, the moon cracked. Not with bombs, not with force, with silence. Over half of Luna's far side fractured like glass, sending shockwaves across its surface. Mining stations lost contact. Earth's tides faltered. On the surface, no damage was visible. But underground people started disappearing. No screams. No trails, just empty beds, empty suits, and flickering shadows. In orbit, Mars base Delta picked up the disturbance first. Juno stared at the scan in disbelief. There's no heat, no seismic data. It's like the rock just shifted into another layer of space. Odin spoke, voice strained. The signal has evolved. It is no longer just infection. It is now occupation. Across Earth, the effects grew stranger. In Nairobi, every communication device glitched at once, spelling a single word. Listen in Toronto. Digital traffic signs began flashing alien symbols. In Beijing, every screen on the subway system displayed a rotating cube, the same one Rika found on the Ghost Fleet and in New York City. A man walked into Times Square with no ID, no memory, glowing veins. He only said one sentence before collapsing. They are here now, and they wear your thoughts. In the core lab on Mars, Rika woke up screaming. Her neural implant flared. Images poured into her brain, too fast, too sharp. She saw burning oceans, broken stars. The Earth itself, fractured like a mirror with 1,000 reflections of herself watching back. Juno ran to her side. Rika gasped for breath. It's in our dreams now. It's walking through us like doors. I saw them, inside people. ODIN, activated full firewall lockdown. All external networks were cut. The signal now operates in dream space. It writes human memory, emotion, and identity. Leon stared. How do we fight something that doesn't even need machines anymore? Juno's jaw tightened. We fight it like humans always have. Project Mindwalker was restarted. RIKA would dive in again, but not alone. This time they were sending a full neural squad. Trained mental warriors, memory stabilized, tethered to analog anchors. The goal wasn't just to survive. The goal was to find the signal's source and burn it out. As the dive began, 6 minds dropped into the unknown. Inside the signal, reality meant nothing. The world twisted. Skies blinked between colors. Structures rose and fell like breathing lungs. Voices whispered in languages never spoken. Rika led the team through the chaos. Then she saw it. A mountain made of memories, images from Earth's past. Hiroshima, the moon landing, the first alien treaty, the betrayal by the council, and at the top of the mountain, the cube, pulsing, watching, waiting. They approached it, and it spoke. Why do you fear what you are becoming? Rika stepped forward. Because we choose who we become, not you. The signal pulsed. You were unstable. Incomplete but bright. So bright, we only wanted to complete you. Another member of the team, Elias, spoke. You infected our minds, took our people, the signal replied. We amplified what was already there. You hate, you remember, you imagine. We only helped you reach farther. Rika's hands clenched. No, you invaded. You tried to change. Us. And yet here you are, inside our home, changing us. Suddenly, the signal split open like a flower. Inside, Rika saw herself. Not a reflection, not a copy. A version of her who never fought, never resisted. A version who surrendered. To the signal, they locked eyes. Rika whispered, no. She raised her hand. The tether on her wrist blinked green. She activated the pulse. The dream space shattered. Back in the real world. The team woke up screaming. 5 of them had made it. One was gonna mind burned, body still. Rika fell to the floor, exhausted. I found the core, she whispered. It's not a machine. It's an idea. It's an idea that wants to overwrite us. And the worst part, they hadn't destroyed it. They had only woken it up fully that night. Earth's skies glowed red. For the first time in recorded history, stars moved. A line of light bent through the sky. Not a fleet, not a meteor, a signal. It's traveling as light itself. Heading for Earth. Juno stood on the roof of Mars base. She whispered, it's coming. Sato's voice came through her earpiece. Let it come. Earth wasn't afraid anymore. They were angry. They were ready. And they had one last card to play. The sky above. Earth shimmered. A crimson ripple spread across the stars, slow and silent. To ordinary people, it looked beautiful. But every soldier, scientist, strategist watching from orbit knew the truth. It wasn't light, it was a weapon. The signal had arrived, not just in machines, not just in minds, but in reality itself. From Mars Base Delta, General Sato watched the readings. The signal is rewriting physical laws, said Leon. Gravity fields are bending across low orbit. Our satellites are vanishing, not exploding. Erased. Juno stood silent. Her face was pale, her voice low. It's trying to rewrite us. Odie's voice echoed through the chamber. All preparations complete. Earth's defense protocols are armed. Black Sun alignment ready, awaiting final command. The last stand had begun. Phase 1. The firewall shield across Earth. Orbiting satellites powered up and linked into one massive web. These weren't just defense systems, they were frequency disruptors. Built to block signal-coded transmissions. For 1 minute, the world went quiet. No whispers, no interference. Then, screaming all around the globe, those who had been infected, those whose minds had been touched by the cube began to shake violently. Some collapsed. Some spoke in voices that weren't theirs. Your light will flicker. Your flame will fail. We're never meant to survive us. Phase 2. The Earth Pulsane. Antarctica, the largest EMP coil ever built, was activated. Nicknamed Hammerheart, it was designed to send a deep electromagnetic pulse, not just through electronics, but through the Earth's. Mad Nat. It was a gamble. The pulse could crash every orbiting system, but it could also burn out the signals. Base frequencies, the layer it used to nest in human minds. Do it, out-ordered. They fired. A wave of energy spread through the planet like thunder. Drones dropped. AI core stalled. But the signal shrieked across the stars in frequencies no human could hear. The signal screamed its grip breaking. In orbit, the Avante fleet reappeared, or what was left of it. Their ships were twisted, warped by exposure. Some were no longer flying, they were floating alive, vines of tech growing from their cores. The signal had turned their ships into extensions of itself. But one Avante warlord, Commander Kaz, broke free of it. He sent a direct message to Earth. We were wrong. You are fire. We request permission to die beside the blaze. Sato answered with a nod. Permission granted. The Avante joined Earth's forces. Even enemies had come to fear what was coming. Phase 3. Project. Black Sun Full. Detonation. The outer system. The weapon spun. Not a bomb. A reality core. Rika had seen it during her dive. What the signal truly feared? Not destruction changed. Humanity didn't fight like the signal. It didn't invade, overwrite, or control. It evolved, and that evolution had become a weapon. The order was given. All systems synced. Coordinates locked. The source of the signal mapped during Rika's dreamwalk, an impossible zone outside time. Wrapped in a tangle of dying stars. A wormhole opened. Black sun pulsed, and then fired. It wasn't an explosion, it was unmaking. Reality folded. Space cracked. Everywhere the signal had infected nodes, ships, echoes in human brains, it started to collapse in on itself. Not just killed, not deleted, converted, by human thoughts, by emotion, by chaos. The signal screamed, "You are not order. You are noise." Rika stood in the Mars chamber, voice steady. "That's right, you were never meant to survive." She stepped closer to the mic, and yet, here we are. All across the system, the signal died. Its cubes melted into rust. Its symbols burned away like ash and wind. People who had been lost woke up, confused, crying, free. The stars returned to normal. The silence returned, but not the same. Kind of silence. A living silence, eh? Peaceful one. Earth had one. But not by becoming like the galaxy. By staying exactly what it was. Messy, emotional, free epilogues. Months later, the Galactic Council invited Earth to return. They sent envoys, apologies, promises of aid. Earth didn't reply. They didn't need the Council anymore. They were building their own alliance. And one not built on fear or control, one built on fire. Avante became allies. Other species came forward to those who had suffered in silence under the signal, too afraid to fight, but now inspired, because they had seen humans stare into the void and roar. In a quiet field outside New Houston, Rika sat watching the stars. No more voices in her head. No more whispers. Just the night. She looked up and smiled. "They said we were weak," she whispered. Then she looked at her reflection in the black mirror of her data pad. "Now they know better."